This is my interpretation and understanding of this gene key adapted from Richard Rudd's definition of the acidic frequency in the book Gene Keys. Timelessness is the nature of consciousness itself. It is the unborn and undying. Timelessness does not care whether the body is exhibiting patience or impatience. It simply is. Timelessness is thus the death of all fighting. Patience and impatience are not absolute states. They are poles within life, experienced through human awareness. Only timelessness is an absolute state, acidic state. Richard Rudd. The nature of all 64 acidic states can be seen clearly in the fifth city, timelessness. It also points to the limitation of this content as explaining consciousness in terms of shadow, gift, and acidic, or frequency bands, is a fallacy, as frequency depends on oscillations of wave patterns within time, and consciousness exists outside of time. One can also not measure or divide consciousness, and it also exists beyond all constructs of language. This may point to the futility of trying to understand each acidic frequency, yet we are still embodied as a mind-centered society, and discussing consciousness in terms of language does give our brain something to anchor into that helps with transcendence. While the transcendence into the acidic may seem captivating or glamorous, it is not. It is completely ordinary. Enlightenment occurs when the set of patterns that you call yourself finally experiences itself as nothing more than a set of patterns. It is only when you stop trying to leave the shadow frequency can the fight against the paradox complete. At this point, consciousness sees itself as the awareness operating through you and is never the same again, even though the patterns of your nature continue to run until you die. Our lives are like a candle flame flickering between dualities, fear to trust, and back again, endlessly. Patience and impatience are two ends of the same spectrum, and as such, they are rooted in the existence of time. And patience is the only key that allows you to see this lesson. In the acidic state, you have jumped out of the game. You can no longer identify with yourself and your life, the candle flame known as you, even though it may go on flickering. You no longer talk in terms of time or identity, or patience or impatience. Everything simply is. Timelessness, hitting the speed of being, is the great secret known as enlightenment, and is our higher purpose lock hidden in our DNA. Yet it is only the human spirit that can unlock this deep secret. The path and process of this is then translated into experiences where deep unconscious fears rise up to the surface of your awareness through the medium of your body. These times in your life can be very challenging and disorienting. As you near the acidic threshold, the frequency of your body will begin to approach the speed of light. It is only when your frequency hits the speed of light does time finally dissolve and pure being is experienced. The highest code can only be awakened by the flood of high frequencies contained within the spectrum of light. Every time you experience such an inflow of acidic high-frequency light, you move through an intense period of mutation in which any glitches in your genetic code are erased. After such period, your whole system must literally be rebooted. The more you open yourself to higher frequencies of light, the more heightened the vibration becomes within your cellular DNA. Awakening usually occurs in a rhythmic or logarithmic manner. The body is then periodically flooded by higher acidic frequencies prior to full-blown enlightenment. The distance in time between such events decrease by approximately 1/2 every time it occurs. The body is readying itself for an experience that will alter its own functioning permanently. Now that we have cracked the code of life, with all that is now known about the human genome and DNA, there is now the ability to leverage the information to make our lives more secure, no longer bound by the code in our DNA that may point to specific diseases and illnesses. Yet those in the shadow frequency are unable to see or understand the frequency of transcendence. So this awareness of genetic tendencies, when rooted in fear, can give strength to the discovery, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. At the gift level, you have the awareness these codes can be transcended. And at the acidic level, you know the codes are designed to be transcended. This truth holds significance when it comes to our future. To live an open-hearted life is to align to our highest well-being. Yet at the high acidic frequency, the codes can no longer be unlocked digitally, which means it is beyond the mind to unlock them. This great change occurs when the smaller self stops trying to interfere with anything. The shadow state and the gift state are experienced as the same. The way we currently live life, it could be seen as waiting for death. We can shift this to seeing that we are waiting for the future to reach into us. As it does, we will see what life has for us. One thing true is this: the more deeply your mind grasps the fact that you cannot do anything in this life, the more you must begin to surrender both your smaller genetic nature and your greater galactic nature. In the end, only timelessness will tell.